Welcome to Unscripted, and today we are pulling back the curtain on something that you hear about every single day, but you might not fully understand yet: artificial intelligence. So if you ask Google's Gemini what AI is, it says, at its core, AI is a branch of computer science dedicated to creating systems capable of performing tasks that traditionally require human intelligence. Meanwhile, ChatGPT gives us everyday examples: virtual assistants like Siri, recommendation algorithms on Netflix and YouTube, and even self-driving technology like Waymo. But how can AI help you, the average viewer, today? And to break that all down, we have brought in a local AI architect, René Clayton, founder of Byte Strategy. Welcome to Unscripted, René.
Thank you, Linda. I'm very happy to be here.
So before we dive into all the tech, tell everybody a little bit about your history and what makes you an expert in this field.
Great question. Well, I've got my start in technology about 28 years ago, working with banking and transformational technology through mobile apps and online banking, and it just started a whirlwind of my love for tech. Fast forward to about 11 years ago, we got into automation and innovation with what we were doing in contact centers. Once we got there, we started looking at more emerging technology, and then we discovered artificial intelligence. And that is where it all began, and I absolutely love the technology.
So give me an example of what your company does to help the average company in the Tampa Bay area with AI.
Absolutely. So what we do at Byte Strategy AI is that we always help learn first. We teach, and then we go from whiteboard to what I call keyboard. So we want people to be hands-on with different types of technology and the different types of models that that company wants to use. We train their staff first, because if they don't have training, they're not going to know how to use it. And a lot of companies will offer, let's say, Microsoft Copilot, and then they don't know how to use it. So we teach the best way to use AI for their business, and if they even need it.
I will say that here at Fox, they have also rolled out plenty of training modules for us on how to use artificial intelligence to not do your job for you, but to help you do your job better or to become more efficient. So I'm curious, do you think that the average person using AI is using it to their advantage today, or just scratching the surface, and maybe some people might still be intimidated by it all? Because there's a lot.
There is a lot, Linda, and I would say it's both.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that are using it to elevate what they already are doing. There are people that are afraid of it. They don't know even why they would use it because they run a restaurant. I have a company that I work with that's a construction company, and their field guys use it to look at different parts and to see what they can do with it. So I think that people are using it, and they're using it very lightly.
So there's a lot more to learn.
There is
what you're
a lot
saying.
more.
Do you think that the different AI models are better at helping our viewers with different things? And if so, give me examples of that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So ChatGPT is great for brainstorming. It is really nice for not looking at a white paper.
Mm-hmm.
Claude is great for productivity tools within your business. So it'll give you outputs of, let's say, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, all of that. So there are definitely different models. And Gemini,
Claude could be your accountant?
It is excellent at Excel.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite uses of Excel is using it inside of Claude. Absolutely.
And that's one of the things you would teach businesses.
I do.
Okay.
I have taught over 300 people how to use Claude at their company this year alone. And it's one of the most popular. And then Google is great for images.
And you're talking about
videos.
Gemini.
Google
Yes,
Gemini.
yes.
Yes, Google Gemini is that little spark. It looks like a star, and it is fantastic for images and videos.
Yeah, in fact, I used it with some training here at Fox. I used it to create what we call in writer's land a TV pitch deck where you could actually bring your characters to life. You fully describe them and even give them dialogue and action, and you're building like a little movie. It's amazing what it can do. Maybe let's give our viewers some homework. What are 5 things they can learn from you right now to elevate their everyday use of AI?
Definitely. That's a question I get all the time. It's one of the first things that people ask me. I would say number 1, be curious. Let's say you want to make dinner and you don't even know what to do. Take a picture of what's in your refrigerator and ask Gemini or your favorite tool, what should I make for dinner? What recipes can we put together? And it will do that right away.
It will, just from visualizing what's in your refrigerator.
You can do it with a video, or you can do it with any sort of imagery. And, to prompt the system properly, I would say to make sure that you're asking it the right questions. Just like if you had an intern that just started today,
right?
You couldn't say, oh, go over to that studio A over there and go write me a report. It would be like...
Or fix the weather center.
Right, fix the weather center. You give it a role, you ask it to ask you questions, clarifying questions. Mm-hmm. You give it maybe an example of what you would want it to be, and what is the output? Is the output an image? Is the output a video? Is the output an Excel document? What do you want the output to be? So the more you give it, the more it's going to answer you much better and more properly.
And you say, ask AI, what am I missing? Why are you asking AI that?
Yeah, because it will infer, which means it will make up stuff in the event that you don't give it enough information. So what that means is if you don't give it enough examples or why you're even asking it, you need to kind of spar back and forth with it to make sure that it's answering you clearly, and you need to ask for its sources.
You even told me once that you need to tell it, do better.
Yes.
I'm like, that seems so harsh, but maybe you do that before you send an email to your boss. Right?
Yes, especially if you're working on a proposal or something really critical, a report for your boss or your church, whatever you're working on, you just say, please ask me clarifying questions, one question at a time, and then also do better and be more responsible.
Oh,
you will find, Linda, that you will get better answers.
What is the red flag reader?
The red flag reader is, okay, let's say we all have our attorneys and we all have our schools, and they give us really long documents. We ask the system to maybe summarize the documents and see what am I missing? What will I not see if I read this by myself? It gives you summaries, and then you can talk back and forth with the AI systems, and then you can ask it to ask you questions and make sure you're not missing anything in those documents that you're reading.
Would you put legal documents in it at this point?
So it depends.
Okay.
So if you're using the free version, which 95% of the people in the world are, I would say absolutely 100% not. If you are using the paid version, and you have guardrails and permissions and it's locked down, then you can. For instance, legal firms use an application called Harvey.
Okay. What is the most common use of AI, and what are we all missing? What should we actually be using it more to do?
So, but in the past, people were using it to just have a conversation, write an email, make it sound more friendly.
A social media post.
Right. Mm-hmm. A recipe. Now it's a task manager. It's truly that knowledge companion that you can co-work with. I mean, it's really your coworker. And now I've built many agents, and they are my little coworkers. And
Tell me about this board of directors that you've built and what each of your AI agents does for you.
Right. So I've built many agents, and one of my board is an advisory board. It's called the North Star Advisory. And I have a strategist, a negotiator, someone that does checks legal words, an edit, like it does editing with spell checks. It gives me guidance for motivation or speaking tips. And they all actually work together. And then they come back and then they give me their consensus. And there's a hierarchy as well.
So you could teach a business how to do that.
Yes.
I mean, that's 5 or 6 people right there that you wouldn't have to hire. I guess if you're a small business person, that does help.
Right. And going back to the practical tips we were talking about earlier, is another practical tip is using it for your everyday life. When you first start, pick one tool, just pick one, and then kind of deep dive
Google,
into it.
Gemini.
Right. And Google is a great example
Right.
because a lot of people have Google Gmail,
Right.
and that's probably the best free one.
Got it. All right. Well, AI definitely a game changer, but it's not all positive. Lately, a lot of people are using it for highly controversial reasons. We've seen the news stories about, the FSU shooter using an AI chatbot before committing a crime, people using it for therapy. So when we come back, we're going to take a look at AI gone wrong and tell you how to protect yourself. So stay with us. Welcome back to Unscripted. So before the break, we teased some of the darker sides of AI. To start off with, I have a friend who uses ChatGPT a lot. And she said to me the other day, Chat, the AI bot, said to her, or wrote to her, I guess, should I have a name? And she says back, well, would you like a name? And it said yes. And I forget exactly what the name was, but then it answered a spark. I think spark. Well, why that? Because I am the spark that lights your flame. And I thought, oh my gosh, that AI is flirting with you. I was like, I find that to be a little unsettling. There is a darker side to that because I do think people will start using it as if it was a human friend or advisor or a therapist, maybe, right?
Absolutely. So it's truly just a pattern recognition system. It's ones and zeros.
So it's not flirting.
It's not flirting, which we're going to get to. But if I said the sky is, you would say blue.
Yes.
It's a pattern recognition system. Right. And as far as flirting with you, I don't think that's right. And it's really the way that you train it, and it gets to know your personality, especially if you're on the paid version. But even on the unpaid version, it will remember certain things, and you can change your settings in the system to say, don't be overly nice, because it's been trained to be agreeable.
Are those gems? Are you talking about like gems for Google? Let's just take Google.
Actually, I'm talking about the settings by your name.
Oh,
you can personalize,
okay.
And you can turn your memory on and off.
Okay.
And you can personalize it to be very concise. Don't say certain words.
Don't get flirty with me.
Don't get flirty with me, right? But it has been trained on purpose to be very agreeable.
Got it. Okay, so tell people what gems are and what maybe are the equivalent in some of the other models.
Sure. So a Google Gem is like a project.
Right.
And in ChatGPT, it's a GPT or a project. And then in Claude, it's a project. Mm-hmm. And so it's really a place to kind of house each different idea that you have. So let's say you have a marketing. You would have a gem for marketing. If you had finance, you would have a gem for your finance. If you had invoices, you would have a gem or a project.
And basically, so you don't have to keep typing the same thing over and over and over again. Please do A, B, C, D, E, F. It's just
that,
written.
and that also gets a little more advanced.
Right.
But there's something called a skill. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit more advanced, but for our advanced users out there, skills are definitely the place to go to give directions where you don't have to repeat yourself all the time, and also putting it in your settings, like what you do for a living, what your gender is, whatever your preferences are.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So you just set up so you don't have to say, I am a news anchor.
Correct.
I work for Fox 13. You just fill all that in and then it knows.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about how we see it getting worse than flirting, though. The FSU shooter talking back and forth with the chat bot before committing a crime at a university.
Yeah. So AI can go wrong. Mm-hmm. It goes wrong every day. Mm-hmm. So we all need to be careful with the way we use it. And with the shooter incident, the way he got around the guardrails, so the systems already have guardrails around around what they're allowed to do, but he said, we're going to pretend to do this. He tricked the system.
Oh, okay. Or you could say, I'm an author and I'm writing about a murder mystery and I need to use the candlestick in the library, right?
Exactly. And it's just like a knife, right? A knife can be used for good
right.
in the kitchen, and a knife could be used for bad. Just like any other technology, you can use it for good or bad. And I try to focus on good, safe, responsible AI.
But it has been used to aid in crimes before. Is it even possible at this point to lock it down? So if someone answers, how do I assassinate 50 people at a university, it doesn't, and get away with it, it doesn't help by saying, well, the cameras in this hall will be turned off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's not completely possible, not yet. That's one reason they pulled, the government actually pulled Mythos Fable 5 off the shelves when I was happily using it.
Because it was close to being...
It was doing something it wasn't supposed to.
Like what? Now you've got me interested.
It was what's called jailbreaking. I don't want to scare anyone. It was just it's a very powerful model. So each model is different.
But jailbreaking is getting people's information from behind
Correct.
a safe wall, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. So companies need to lock their systems down and be responsible and have standard operating procedures for their staff and their team members and their leadership teams. And then at home with your children, what they should and shouldn't do with it. And again, going back to the safe, responsible use of it, asking those clarifying questions and making sure that we're all teaching people around us how to use it best.
How do you teach a business that? To use it legally then and not to cross those boundaries?
Well, that's where companies like mine come in,
right.
AI businesses, where we go in and we teach them. And we start with AI fluency. And we get them from aware to capable. And that's really what we do. And during that process, we say, don't give it your bank account information. Use placeholders when necessary. Company A, company B. Don't say your child's name. Don't give it your, bank account. Just like I wouldn't give you my bank account
right.
information. So you just have to be savvy and smart and wise with anything like the internet.
Mm-hmm. What would your, in terms of safety maybe, what would your top 2 tips be for the average person? Like what could I do or anyone watching do right now to make their information safer
yes.
from the chatbots that they're interacting with?
Well, the number one is buy paid version.
Get the paid version.
Yes, it's $20. It's a latte and a croissant. So
it's a good
right?
way to put it.
And
what does that do? It
no, but
puts
that
more
actually
firewalls, or
it keeps you have more ability to turn on and off things.
Got it.
And it also will. You can turn off your memory if you're really concerned, but don't give it any personal information. But know that these systems are also training themselves on top of us training it. So putting thumbs up and thumbs down is also reinforcing the model and learning from you. Mm-hmm. So if you speak with it like you should, like you would speak to a human, and converse with it properly and ask it to verify its sources at all times.
Verify sources, and it has to. What if you have some symptoms and you throw some medical information in there and you're, before you go to the doctor, because you used to Google. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just faster, right?
Right.
Does that live out there forever? Can anybody get access to that information? I mean, what is safety in that arena?
Well, again, it depends on what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So if you're using the paid model and you have it in a project or a gem, that actually stays what's called grounded, and it stays right there in that system. It's just very much private there.
Right.
And then otherwise, you can turn off your memory, and I wouldn't necessarily put all your information into just the chat version. Use a project, a GPT or a gem.
Got it. All right, let's address the elephant in the room, AI taking jobs. A lot of people hate it. Just for that reason.
I know that I hear that a lot. And jobs are actually, we're going to get more jobs. It's creating lots more jobs than it's going to be taking. It does change the way we work. It makes us work faster, and it elevates what we're doing, like we discussed. And what we can do, though, is stay curious, go to OpenAI, Anthropic's Claude website, and Google's website, and they have free training. And the more you're trained and the more you're known as the AI person at your company,
right,
you're going to be safer. And as far as specific jobs, basic mundane jobs will go away, and they already are. Call center, fraud detection, that sort of work is going away. But then other work is becoming different.
Right. So if you're a young person going to college right now, What would your advice be in terms of making sure you're learning to do something that AI isn't going to take over?
Well, again, stay up to date with the AI systems and things that are like medical. We're going to need physicians. We're going to need people that are thinking ethically, with empathy, with our human judgment, with the human in the loop. And college is just going to change, but it's not going to be enough anymore. We need to learn how to converse with AI. On November 30th, 2022, when ChatGPT came into our world changed forever.
All right. On that note, they say there is a tsunami coming, or René says, what does the workforce look like in the near future? Do our kids even need to go to college? We're going to discuss more on that. She gives us her predictions on what the world is going to look like. Not too distant future when we come back, so stay with us. Back to Unscripted. We are with René Clayton, founder of Byte Strategy. All right, let's. A lot of our viewers are just like me, a working woman with kids, working during the day, got to take care of the family at night. Give me some examples of how I should be using or what I need to be learning from AI to make my life easier. I want my life to be easier.
We all do.
Yes.
Linda. One thing that I use that would be really helpful for you is I have many calendars. And especially, and moms do too. Yes. You might have a calendar for each child.
The school calendar.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I have it do a summary for me every morning. As soon as I wake up, it reads off my summary of exactly what I need to do and think about for that day.
So is that through Google? What
you can use any of them. I'd use that Google for that one.
And what do you use? Gemini or what?
I use Gemini.
Okay.
And I just will prompt it in natural language. So that's a nice thing as a takeaway.
So give me the prompt like that you would say.
Oh, sure. So today let's say I was starting from the beginning and I was going to prompt it.
Right.
Today I am a very busy woman. I'm a mother. I have children. I have 4 calendars, and I want you to create a skill or a task, a routine, whichever one you want to use, the words, and tell me my day every morning at 6 a.m., and then it will come up and it will show up on your phone.
And it grabs the information from all your different calendars.
Correct.
Do they all have to be in the Google Dome?
No.
No.
They don't.
So it can cross...
You can, and you can connect them, especially with the paid versions, you can connect them. And it's really helpful. And it will even read your emails for you and get you prepared for the day so that you don't miss anything. So those are a couple of examples. Another way is meal planning. So you might have different people in your family that have different meals. And yes, you know that you could do it by yourself. Right. But how much easier if you're in the school line and you're just talking to your phone and you're just saying, make me a grocery list because this is what we're going to make for dinner. Give me 2 ideas and some recipes, and I want all of them to be less than 30 minutes.
What would you teach your kids? Let's say you have kids in school, so they middle school, high school age. What would you want them to learn right now to have AI help them?
I would ask them to learn how to prompt, right? So use the AIM framework, which is just giving it the context and that sort of the context, the goal, and the output. Ask it to be clear. Ask it to be responsible. So those are just the basics, like we've already discussed. But for middle schoolers and young high schoolers especially, I would say to ask them to learn to code and code with the easy conversational apps that they have out there and start building websites and getting hands on keyboard and practice 10, 15 minutes a day.
What about for the average employee?
Yes.
What do you need to learn today to keep your job?
You need to learn how to talk to AI. And if you can't talk to people, you can't talk to AI. It's very simple. And I believe that if you can get in the systems and know that it's more than a conversation, it can help you do tasks. And you can have it simplify your life, simplify your work, and ask it to teach you something new every week.
And we should not feel guilty about using this powerful tool to...
Definitely not. I have one of my best friends has a son who is on the autistic side, and it's the only way he can communicate. And I find, and elderly people too, we've been buying Amazon Alexas for them and putting them in their homes so they have someone to talk to. Just ask the weather, maybe what they should eat for dinner, maybe make more reminders on when they should take their medication.
That's great. We have less than a minute left. So I want to make sure that our viewers who may need you know how to get a hold of you. So tell us how they can do that, and again, what your specialty is in terms of helping.
Definitely. So you can find me on LinkedIn at René Clayton, and also Byte Strategy AI. I help with small and mid-sized businesses, training, workshops, getting you AI ready if you need it, and all sorts of things in between.
And we didn't really talk about the future. I know we only have like 30 seconds left, but is that tsunami coming?
It's faster than we thought.
What do you mean, like 2 years, or it's already here?
It's already here. It's already here. We have more AI than you can imagine. Like, we got Waymos in Tampa lately, right? So just be prepared. Spend 15 minutes a day. Pick one system. Learn it. And don't be afraid. Just be curious. Be open-minded and stay safe.
And by pick one, you're talking about like do everything with Google or Claude.
Correct.
Or Chat.
And there's many more out there, but yes.
Right. And just master a skill a day, right?
You master a skill a day.
And
That's
before
right.
you know it, you're a master of AI. René Clayton, founder of Byte Strategy, thank you so much for making it a little less scary and I guess putting it in its proper place. It's here. The genie's not going back in the bottle, is it?
It's not. And thank you, Linda. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us on Unscripted.